keeping me away from these mannequins. But goddamn, get it done, will ya? Woo. When I blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. It is Mark Holovitz here again on a beautiful day here. We have a little bit better weather. It's a little frosty out here today, but we're going to have a lot better weather, and because of that, we're going to today talk about the Lamborghini here. What do I normally do for the Lamborghini to get it ready for the summertime? I mean, we're embarking on some rallies this year. We're going to be looking at possibly taking the BMW and possibly the Lamborghini. But more importantly, today we'll talk about what I like to do, how I prepare this car so it's safe and reliable for the season coming up. I'm also going to do some basic maintenance here now that spring has more or less arrived. And we're going to head down to the store. First, going to stop by and grab a coffee at one of my favorite coffee stops. And then we're going to grab some great new leather cleaning products. As well, I have to figure out how I'm going to clean the rims on the car, because before I got the car put away for wintertime, sadly enough, we had some really nasty cold spell weather just hit us really all of a sudden, and I didn't have a lot of time to prepare the wheels. Normally I like to clean them before winter, so I have to clean the wheels too. So we're going to walk through today, heading down to the store, shopping for some cleaning products. As well, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys what I like to do for this car, preparing it for the next season. Let's go, guys. I'm going to take the X5 out today. Let's go. So, buddy, we're going to go get a coffee or what? Coffee and a hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Well, see, these guys have been sort of a little bit ripping us off lately. Normally they tell you it's 1 in 6 on roll up the rim here, but we're going to see again. Medium hot chocolate and an extra large regular coffee. Okay. This should cover the coffee.
Yeah.
Let's pay for the other one. You got the door, buddy?
Yep.
Push. All right. So it looked like they were trying to scam us a little bit, hey?
Yeah.
To roll up the rim, they didn't want to give us these extra cups. They didn't want to give us to roll up the rim. So I guess that's just how it works around here these days, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go into Canadian Tire here, one of our famous little stores, hey? We're going to grab some of those cleaning supplies and detailing supplies for the Lambo today. Okay, so we need some rags. Oh, this is what I need for the wheels. We need some of this for the wheels so we can get in there deep to clean the wheels out really nice. My old one is kind of dyed, so this one here should work really nice. I'm gonna get one of these. Yeah. Okay, so another thing I like to do definitely is clean the leather. Clean it and conditioner. So we got conditioner and leather care. Maybe this here is to remove cracks or helps prevent cracking. Okay, you know what? No, we're gonna put this one back. We'll get the conditioner instead. How about a set of these bad boys on the back of the Lambo? Wow. Time to go pay for this stuff now. So guys, thanks for joining the journey. Today, before we get started on the Lamborghini, I'm gonna show you some of the things that I like to do to get it ready for the year. Make sure you stick around for the next videos, because I'm also on the verge of buying another daily driver that I'm going to share with you. So I'd like to share my whole buying and ownership experience of having Lamborghinis exotics as well as a daily driver that I'm about to embark on. So first, let's get started. I'm going to show you some of the things I do because it's now spring. Technically, we're going to start getting into the driving mode. So let's get rolling into this. There's a few basic things I want to open up the trunk and the door. Listen up, you're going to hear a funny noise. That there is the e-gear pump, because this car is an automated manual. It's an e-gear, so it's paddle shifters, flappy paddles. And for those guys out there that aren't sure how that works, really it's a hydraulic system that actuates the gears on the transmission, driven over by an electric system. So you pull the paddle, a little solenoid activates an actuator, everything's sort of electric over hydraulic. So first thing, I want to do a quick inspection. So I pop the hood. There's a lever behind the driver's seat. It's kind of a pain to get to, but here we go. I'm going to do that. And the reason I'm going to check that is because in the fall, I did an oil change on this car, and I didn't get a chance to really warm it up really well. So I'm going to show you some of the steps I checked mechanically here. First, let's go take a look, everybody. So first things first, looking under the hood of this monster, we have the 5-liter V10 engine, of course. Some of the things that I'm going to do, of course, check the antifreeze. I always pop that little cap over there, make sure the fluid's topped up. I know I did a flush last year. I had to actually take that tank off because I had to change the fuel filter. So I've got new fuel filters that are tucked in behind here. You always want to make sure you run good fuel, have good spark plugs. The antifreeze, like I said, I had to add some because I ended up dumping it because that tank had to come out to do the fuel filters as well. The other thing, I did the oil change, and of course, that is a royal pain in the rump. Now, if you look down in here, way down in there, there's the oil filter, and you can see, well, you probably can't really see it, but there's a filter housing way down in there, and it is quite something to behold. So way down tucked in underneath there, there's a filter housing. So you've got to take this bunch of stuff off here, get it all out of the way, if you can even get your hand in there barely. So I changed the oil, did the filter, and of course, here's where you check the oil. Now you check the oil you have to run the car, it has to be hot, basically warmed up pretty well. So I do that too. Before I take this thing for a drive, I'm going to make sure all the fluids are topped up. Like I said, antifreeze. I'm going to make sure the oil is topped up properly as well. As a matter of fact, I think I might have had a little bit too much, so we'll be possibly draining a little bit out. But that's the other place, so you're dealing with that. And the air filters I've done as well. So these are the things I'm going to do generally as a rule. Now, let's close this up. So that's the first thing. Mechanically, it has to be sound. Now, coming over here, so here we're gonna have to pop the hood. There we are. And you'll notice, kind of hard to see in there, but we have the battery connections because I run a battery tender, which is sitting here, and it's currently on charge because we opened up that pump. We opened up the door and you had the hydraulic pump going for the e-gear. So that's basically it. You make sure your battery is good to go. I'll tell you, nothing takes the wind out of your sails more than being ready to go. Your fuel, your fluids are all topped up. You want to go for a nice drive on a sunny afternoon, and then click, 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 and the battery doesn't allow you to start the engine. That is so frustrating. So always make sure you got a battery tender on here. And know these Gallardos, the batteries don't last long. You might get a week with it off of charge, and then it's dead. So you always got to have that charger going, ready to rock and roll. So then we move around, and of course I always keep the mirrors tucked in because I don't necessarily want anybody bumping into that. Gonna charge again. Always gotta watch this. Look at that. Gotta be careful, don't need any dings on the M5 either. So now we look inside. Now you'll notice there's a whole plethora of leather interior in here. And this leather is actually in really nice shape. If you look at some of the leather, a lot of these cars, they really show their age. Especially these bolsters. This is where it really starts to show if the car's been taken care of. This car is super clean that way, but there's lots of leather to cover. So I have to basically take out the leather conditioner, and that's what I went and bought. And so lots of leather. The whole dash is covered in leather. The seats are leather. You'll see leather. Look at that. How's that bolster looking? Not too shabby. All the way around, the bolsters are clean. You'll notice there's leather on the dash, and we've got leather everywhere, and even leather down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that leather conditioner, and I'm going to give you a sample of what I do. I'm going to run you through a quick process, but it's very important that you take care of your leather interior. Otherwise, it will start to date very, very quickly. So let's get started on that. So we're going to just do a little bit on the door here. I'm going to show you what I use. So again, I don't want to advertise for these guys, but anyway, there it is. So I'm using some leather conditioner right there, as you see, leather conditioner. This is meant to take some of the wrinkles out or minimize the amount of wrinkles that develop. So I'm going to close that up, put a little bit on. This is a lint-free microfiber towel, and I'm going to go very gently. I mean, there's other options too, but I'm going to use this. Gently wipe that on. Just like that, you see? This is all leather down here too in these Lambos. Lots of leather interior in this cars. This is another area that starts to crack. A lot of guys complain on their Gallardos, this area starts to crack. Not if you use leather conditioner. It doesn't. It usually holds up pretty well. So the next thing, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you up close. I'm gonna do the seats next. I'm just gonna run through that real quick. Just watch and have some fun with this, guys. Okay, so we got some more on the rag. I'm gonna start wiping down. Alright, so now that we're done doing the leather, I've done the entire interior. I want to save you guys the agony of showing you the entire process, but know that you really want to spend time on the leather interior. Make sure your battery's charged. I always want to make sure the fluids are topped up, and we've got this new little toy that we bought, you just saw shortly before, and I'm excited to use this because this doesn't have a sharp tip. You'll notice, be very careful what you're using, because some of these have a metal end on them. I've seen some of these even using dusters. I've used those little dusters, garden variety, you know, for cleaning your furniture in the house. They work pretty good, but some of them have a metal end on them. Very, very, very sharp sometimes and can cause damage to your paint or your wheels. So this I bought for the wheels. Now, unfortunately, we had really nasty weather before the winter came. It came on fast and furious, and I didn't get a chance to properly prep the wheels. I like to normally take all the wheels off, clean them on the front yard, and get them a real good hand wash with a lint-free towel. Well, I didn't have that chance this year, and quite honestly, now once the weather warms up, I'm going to be driving this bad boy, and I don't really want to spend a lot of time jacking it back up, taking the wheels off, and doing all that. So I had to find some great tools. I've got this one as one of them. So you'll notice it's fairly long, but it has to be because inside edge ends right there. And so that doesn't leave you a lot of room to get this all the way in there and scrub around, especially on the back wheels on these cars. But this one here is long enough. So this is going to do a great job in getting in there, getting all those tight spaces. Now, these wheels are powder coated, so they'll tolerate scrubbing pretty well. But this is a very, very soft and supple. This isn't your garden variety hard scrub brush. You definitely don't want to use that, or like a pipe cleaner. Those can be very rigid and scratch your paint. Powder coated, but they still do scratch. So I got this really, really soft. It's very fluffy. It's so nice and luscious. And so this should do a great job in getting in there without damaging the wheels. So this will be one of the tools I use. I've also got another one. I've also got this bad boy. So this one again is a little too short to get your hands all the way in there, but this will do a great job of getting the surface, the face. It's very, very soft as well. And you know what? This was like $2 in the dollar store, so this was very affordable. Not that you need to necessarily worry about cost. If you're driving one of these cars, probably not the biggest thing that you're worried about, but nonetheless, there it is. It's about 12 inches long, a little short to get all the way in there, but you know what? It does a great job. I've seen these. I've used similar ones like this. It's very nice. So very, very soft little fibers on here too. If you need a little more horsepower for some scrubbing action for bugs or whatever, you have this little back. It's just got a little bit, it's not scratchy or abrasive, but it will kind of grab a little bit more than this. This is very fluffy and light. So this is great for your wheels too. So I do like to spend time on the wheels because I truly believe clean glass and clean wheels totally make the car shine. You can have dirty paint. I've found this in the past where your paint, you can have a little bit of dirt from the road grime on the car and the paint, but the car shows very, very well if your glass is really glossy and clean and your wheels are sparkling. If you got clean glass, if you got clean wheels, clean glass, the car looks spanky spot on. So that's really where you want to focus a lot of your attention if you just want to go out for a quick drive. But I'm going to show you how nasty these wheels really look right now. If you look down here, you can pretty much see, look at all that road grime on there and that brake dust. Really, really grungy looking in there. So I want to get all that cleaned up before I take this car for a drive. And I'm not going to touch it because brake dust is slightly corrosive. Or brake dust will etch into the powder coated wheels. So I don't want to do that. But there's the Lambo wheels. In short, I'm going to use that scrub brush and clean these wheels up really, really nice too. So that's the next thing I'll do before we take this thing for a drive. So after you've completed all of that stuff, like I said, check the fluids, clean the wheels, make sure the battery will start the car. You do all those things, and now you have a car that will be ready to rock and roll for the springtime. And I can't wait. Like I said, spring is here. There's a lot of gravel on the roads yet, so I'm probably going to delay the drive maybe a couple of weeks. But we're definitely going to get this bad boy on the road very, very soon. And I want to share that with you guys. So make sure you stick around. And again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe because you're going to want to follow the journey of the ownership of the Lamborghini. We're going to get in on some rallies this year. And that being said, so we have two cars here. We have the Lambo and we have the M5. Now I've had mixed reviews. I haven't really committed yet. I'm going to a Royal Rally here in Alberta. And honestly, I've had mixed reviews. I honestly thought everybody would want to see this car. But I've actually surprised. A lot of people I've come across said they want to see this car in the rally. I mean, these Gallardos are actually almost a dime a dozen for supercars. But there's less and less of these out there. And they're equally potent as this. So what about you guys? What do you think I should actually take? I'm gonna basically put this out to you guys and leave it up to you to decide. I want to hear a general poll, the consensus. Which car should I take? My 500 horsepower M5 or my 500 horsepower Lamborghini? Which is the car for the rally? That, by the way, is coming up in June. So hope you get those comments down sooner than later. That will help me decide. I've also got it posted on Instagram just to get a general idea of which way to go. Anyway, thanks again for sticking around, guys. I'm really glad you did. I just wanted to share with you the things that need to be done when you're faced with springtime and it's time to get these cars on the road. Some of the things that you really want to focus on. Don't forget, oil changes are always best done in the fall so you have clean oil in the engine. You don't want to sit dirty oil in that engine. That'll sit and rot away internal aluminum parts and leave you with a weaker engine. Thanks for sticking around watching the video to the end. And I definitely, again, appreciate you guys if you subscribe and hit the notifications button. Lets you know when the next video is out. And likely, my weekly vlog, you'll see it next Monday again. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope to see you guys soon. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.